Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
So, the guys from Drobo left, or some of the guys from Drobo left to start a company called, ConnectedData.com, and created a new device. Now, they've been back. Drobo was an investor. It wasn't it was a friendly departure. And, in fact, they're back in the Drobo fold. With this is the transporter. They did a stealth launch earlier this year. They haven't really told anybody about it because they wanted to get the software just right. They've now shipped version 2.0 of the software. Let me tell you what the idea is behind this transporter. And, boy, it couldn't be more timely. It does, doesn't it? It has an Ethernet port on the back, power connection. The USB on the back is to give it a Wi-Fi adapter for an extra, a little bit of extra money. You can buy a Wi-Fi adapter. Otherwise, it's wired. But inside here, and watch, I'll just take off the top. Ooh. There's a laptop-sized drive. Now, this is a dock. You can buy it without a drive for $199. They have a terabyte for $299, 2 terabytes for $399. So you can get your own storage in here. And the idea of this is it's not exactly a NAS. The idea of this is to, in effect, do the same thing as Dropbox, but without having to trust a third party.
Yeah.
So you put your stuff on here. Now, what I do is I've installed the Connected Data software on my Mac at home where I have a transporter, and I can copy a folder to it. I can sync a folder with it. So it can store the data solely, or it can sync the data just like Dropbox does. And then I can also launch the software on my desktop here at work and copy the data back and forth. And in effect, it works just like Dropbox.
And the Mac doesn't have to be powered on. So if you have the software...
That's right. This has to be powered on. The transporter does, but the Mac does not.
Wow.
So it'll be syncing. It's kind of like network-attached storage in that regard. They have Mac and PC software. They also just launched iOS software. Do not have an Android solution yet, but I'm sure that they will. This is going to appeal to people who want to have a Dropbox-like synchronization service, but don't trust Dropbox. This uses AES 256-bit encryption.
Or don't want to pay for a terabyte of storage on Dropbox.
And that certainly means you don't have a subscription fee. Dropbox can cost a lot for 100 gigabytes, as much as $50 a year for 100 gigabytes. But you still are paying for this, and,
it's kind of large upfront.
It's a big upfront expense. I think it really is going to primarily appeal to, it'll appeal to people who want more than, say, 100 gigs of storage. They want a terabyte. That's a lot of storage. And they don't want to pay a monthly fee. You pay up front, but you've got this. The other advantage of this, it doesn't go away. The other advantage of this is you can bring this, you can have another one at work. So I have one at work and one at home. In fact, I don't know, can you see my screen, Brian? Because I can manage my transporters here. I can have them synchronized to each other. So in effect, this is a good backup solution. It doesn't do versioning. Yeah, there's my screen. So you can see, I can see. Now, there is no web interface to this. They say we don't want to do that because that would compromise the security of it. You have to use their specialized software.
Just like Dropbox.
To act just like Dropbox.
Oh, well, Dropbox
no, not
does
just
have
like Dropbox.
You're right.
Dropbox has a web-based interface. But you can see I'm synchronizing stuff not only with my computer at home, but also with this computer and also with the transporters. They're sharing each other. So this gives me some redundancy. So now I have a copy on my desktop at home, a copy on my desktop here, a copy on each transporter. No versioning, so if I delete any one of those files, it deletes it everywhere. That's something to keep in mind. And there's another thing to remember. Unlike Dropbox, where you're using Dropbox's own data servers, you're using your own upstream bandwidth. So this is connected to your network at home, and it's pretty easy to saturate the bandwidth, especially if you decide to use this to share folders. I can share folders, and now with the newest 2.0 software, share files. So I could say, hey, yeah, Chad, here's a link to the file on my transporter, and it'll share it with you, but you have to use my bandwidth. So you're not going to want to share it with a lot of people.
And I have to use it installed on a computer. I can't use a web interface to look at that file.
No web interface. There is an iOS interface.
Okay.
That's the other drawback. Dropbox has been around for a long time, and a lot of apps know about Dropbox, use Dropbox to synchronize. That's a nice feature. Yes, this transporter software is very Dropbox-like and it's very easy to use, but it won't work with any applications that expect Dropbox. You still need Dropbox to do that. So if you're an iOS user especially, Dropbox is still going to be something you're going to want to have. So this is filetransporter.com if you want to know anything about it. On the pro side, yes, it is cheaper than Dropbox, unless you use 2 of them. And then it's cost like 5 years worth of Dropbox. Yeah. But you get a lot more data storage. More importantly, you control your data. It's not really cloud storage. It's your storage. It's encrypted, so it's private. It's SSL during the transport. You do control your data, which is awfully nice. And, of course, there's no monthly fees to this. You just buy it up front. Downside is shared files use your bandwidth, your upstream bandwidth from your house, so there may be limitations on how many files you can share with how many people. The price is high, especially if you're using it for synced backup. You want to have 2 transporters. You're talking maybe $600. It doesn't have third-party support. Doesn't have Android support. I expect it will get Android support. It's an open question whether other third parties will use this in lieu of SkyDrive or Dropbox or one of the other more popular choices. And it's wired Ethernet only unless you buy the additional Wi-Fi adapter.
One more question. When you get 2 transporters, do they merge together, or do you always have 2 different terabytes?
You can have them merge together.
Okay, so it would look like one big Dropbox.
It wouldn't look like a 2 terabyte Dropbox. They'd be synchronizing each other. So now you can do it. There's other ways to set it up.
Okay,
but the reason to have 2 is to have one at work and one at home with the same same files on it.
So you get it fast on your network.
So it's backed up and it's fast. And by the way, yeah, network copies are gigabit. They're very fast. So in network, it's quick. Obviously, a little slower over the internet. You know, this is a tough one. It's certainly something that you should get if what I just described suits your needs. They are billing it as a Dropbox replacement, and it isn't. It doesn't do all the things Dropbox does. In particular, it doesn't support third-party applications that expect Dropbox. I think at this point it is still a do not buy. I do think that they've improved the software considerably. They were smart not to announce it. They kind of have stealthed it out, and it has gotten better. Version 2.0 is considerably better of the software. But I'm thinking you might want to wait to see if there gets to be third-party support. And I still would like to see an optional cloud component. I love the idea of being able to go online and see my stuff.
I'll tell you, the current climate with all the NSA stuff.
A lot of privacy people are going to love this idea. And you got to admit, it's cute and it's well-designed. It
looks good.
Exactly what I'd expect from those Drobo people.
In 3 years, you can throw a 4 terabyte drive in there.
And this color ring changes depending on the situation. Just like a Drobo, it lets you know what's going on. The other reason I have to say do not buy, there are choices like Pogo Plug, like Tonito Plug. There are a lot of other choices out there that do somewhat similar things, maybe a little bit more flexible than this. This is, you know, currently doesn't have additional extensions and things like that. But it's early days yet, and so we're going to keep an eye on this, and we'll let you know as things get better. Right now, do not buy, but a promising start from filetransporter.com. This is the Transporter, and it's available everywhere.